Hey, this is Paul Hart from the Saxophonist Magazine, and I'm here with part 2 of our play test of the Selmer Supreme Alto Saxophone. Yeah! Roll the intro. And now an important public service announcement from the Saxophonist Magazine. Hi, this is Paul Hart from the Saxophonist Magazine, and I'm here with an important public service message. You know, if you're like me, you have many passions. For me, it's playing the saxophone and talking about the saxophone. And when I'm not playing or talking about the saxophone, I'm generally enjoying a nice cup of Java from my favorite Saxophonist Magazine cup available on our website. And when I'm not doing that, I'm working on the magazine on my personal computer. Well, kids, I'm here to tell you, don't play fast and loose thinking that you can combine this with this, because I'll tell you something. As soon as the liquid gold falls out of your sturdy yet affordable Saxophonist Magazine cup available on our website, and it hits the motherboard of this thing, it's lights out. No matter how expensive that computer, it cannot deal with the Java buzz. That's right, kids. Sometimes your computer will quit when you dump your favorite coffee all over your computer just as you're about ready to upload all the fancy video footage and editing that you spent hours and hours and hours doing. But fortunately, your crazy nature means that you have sent your friends dozens of videos of you playing the instrument that they can't test. And they were so kind to send you that footage just to shut you up. So we've been able to actually piece together a video review using footage from the week that I had the Selmer Supreme. It is raw, but I think it is a great opportunity for you to see what it's like to try this instrument. So we hope that you enjoy our review of the Selmer Supreme saxophone. And remember, kids, drinking and personal computing, well, they just don't mix. Okay, this first video is the very first video footage that I had with the new Selmer Supreme Alto Saxophone. I wanted to compare it against my AWO10 Yanagasawa, and I found that, as you can hear, the Selmer is a wonderfully rich, even, and slightly darker instrument. I feel that it's the same setup that I'm using on both, which is a 3.5 Rigotti, a Yanni 6 ligature, and a Selmer Soloist C double star mouthpiece. I think you can hear that the Yanagasawa's got a little bit more highs, a little more brilliance, but the Selmer has a wonderfully rich and even scale. It's really amazing. I was a little tripped up, as you could tell, by the C-sharp venting system. It didn't sound as drastic as it does from the player standpoint. If you're not used to the venting system that Selmer has been using with their Series 3 and now the Supreme, it takes some getting used to. And I am pleased to hear that the video footage didn't seem to show the massive change that I felt behind the instrument. I was testing the fork F versus the side F just to see how that was, and I was really taken aback by how well it responded in all the registers, particularly the low register. Okay, in this video, you can hear me demonstrating the range of both instruments. I commonly play an F major scale. F is my favorite note on the alto saxophone, so I really like to see if it has meat and substance in that register, and it gets me down to low B flat and all the way up to high F. As you can tell, the Supreme is a monstrously even instrument. Probably the finest and most even scale and most in tune saxophone I have ever played without making the player pigeonhole into a specific sound. They have really done their homework on this, and I have to credit them for that. I was tripped up a little bit, as you can hear. The high E key, the side C and side B flat are angled a little bit. And I'm used to an inline stack with slightly larger key facings. So I was having a little bit of an issue with that. And I found it interesting that they replaced the chromatic F sharp with a throwback Mark VI pearl covered button, which I'm used to using, but the spacing of the button was so much lower that it actually made the spread of my second and third finger a little bit more uncomfortable than I'd like to use. Now that would be easily bent upwards, but this was a test horn and I didn't want to go bending anything, but really a fantastic instrument. Now in this next video, I want to show you something. This is actually from day 3, and I want to show you something that I discovered, and that is my adjustment to the C sharp venting system. I wasn't a real big fan of it. Again, as I listen to the video now, it is not as severe as it is from the player standpoint. From somebody who's played on saxophones that doesn't have this, I could tell you it kind of felt like I was playing and then somebody would go like that whenever I was playing C sharp. Now again, on the video, you don't hear it as being as drastic. But I want to show you what happens when I removed the regular neck screw and replaced it with a heavy mass screw. I happen to use a gold-plated Meridian Winds heavy mass ergonomic neck screw, whatever they call it. And I want you to notice not only the fact that it altered that C sharp correction system, making it a little bit more palpable for me, but notice what it did to the core and the solid center of the sound. Let me show you what I mean. Here's the C sharp correction I don't like. You can hear the edge is lost in the sound. It's easy to play. It has a good core. But watch what happens when I take the screw off and I put a heavy mass screw on. Okay, if you're like me, you're really kind of blown away by the difference that a heavy mass screw can make. I can tell you from the playing standpoint, it completely changed the instrument, but not in a bad way. The best way I could describe it is if you like that darker, more covered, fluid sound, where maybe the edge of the sound is more like this, you keep the stock screw. When I added that heavy mass screw, and again, I could have chosen any heavy mass screw. This one just happened to be a gold-plated one that I had from Meridian Winds. It really made it feel more like a vintage Mark VI. It tightened up the core, and it really kind of altered that C-sharp correction system, which I was not a real big fan of. I'll talk about that more later. But I could not believe the tunability of the Selmer Supreme. It was really, really impressive. And I think, as you can tell, I felt just right at home. The improved ergonomics of the modern keyboard with this kind of old school sound that came about, man, it was a real treasure. Now I'm just going to show you some videos of me playing some musical examples. I think it's Vic Morosco's Blue Caprice, and hopefully it shows you the flexibility of the instrument. As you can tell, the Selmer Supreme is a fun saxophone to play. By the sixth day, everything felt almost like a second skin to me. And what did I think overall? Selmer nailed it. They knocked it out of the park. I would give them 9 stars out of 10. Why am I not giving them that 1 star? It's that C-sharp correction system. I'm sorry if you're a Series 3 player, you're going to be used to it, probably in greater detail than what they have on this. From what I understand from my colleagues who play on Series 3s, it's not as drastic as it is on that instrument. But if you're like me, somebody who has never had it and frankly doesn't want it, it really takes some getting used to. The heavy mass screw really helped it a little bit. And over time, just my natural ability, I'm able to make adjustments. But you know what? I didn't need them. Neither did Marcel Moll or Jean-Marie Londex or Don Cinta or Sonny Stitt or a whole host of other people who played Selmer saxophones. This is an instrument, by the way, that is equally at home in both jazz and classical. I would never have purchased a Series 3 for use in the jazz realm. This is an instrument that can play in a big band, can play a variety of sounds. And in fact, I liked playing jazz on this instrument more than I did on my Yanagisawa. And I'm just sorry that those videos were destroyed. We'll do another follow-up video so you can really get an idea. I also think that Selmer could do a little bit better job of touting that. You know, they have some pretty serious players in their midst who have played this, including Jaleel Shaw. And you know what? Selmer, if I were you, I would show some more diversity in people, and I would take some of these great jazz players and put them out there with video footage of them playing this instrument. It is a deal breaker. I mean, can you imagine hearing Miguel Zanon or Jaleel Shaw on this saxophone? Oh, it's really going to show the ability of the instrument. Overall, It is a killer. It is the Rolex of saxophones. This is the new standard. Again, if you're a Mark VI player, you're not going to be happy with anything. But I will tell you, if you're like me and you wanted that core and sound of a Mark VI, but you wanted the ease of response and you wanted that more ergonomic action, ultimately that's what drove me to move towards my Yanagisawa. Was just as I get older and my hands get stiff, I wanted to have that more ergonomic action. This will be the instrument that will draw you off sides. This will pull you away. Now, I've got to tell you, just like a Rolex, a Timex can tell time, but a Rolex just does it with higher class. The construction, the engraving on this instrument is just through the roof. The detail of it, the microscopic detail, it's mind-blowing. Great case. I'd get rid of the plastic end cap. I still don't like that. I don't understand. You know, that's like having a Rolex and you put it in this plastic box. Come on, Selmer, you can do better than that. Especially if you're going to be charging around $7,400 for a saxophone. Oy vey, $7,400. Let me tell you something. This is an instrument worth the investment if you know how to play the alto saxophone. If you don't, or you're learning, or you're just starting out, or you just have more money than you know what to do with, wait, okay? Wait until you're ready for this instrument. This is an artist quality instrument. And as such, I guess it's worth that price. I would personally like to see it be a little bit more affordable, but I don't think that's going to stop anybody from buying one, as we're starting to see. And I'm sure we're going to see a whole bunch of them at the next NASA conference next year. So this year, here's what I'll tell you. If you are a serious player who's looking for the epitome of ergonomics, tuning, ease of playing the altissimo register and the low register, and you don't mind the C-sharp venting system, this saxophone is the new standard of the modern instrument. To read more about this review, check out the next issue of the Saxophonist Magazine at www.thesaxophonist.org.